We kind of recap what happened here in the Illinois primary that we saw on March 17th. A little bit of a surprise in the Senate race, the fact that Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton was able to come from way behind and win the Democratic nomination thanks to a large influx of cash from Governor J.B. Pritzker to a super PAC that helped equalize the resources in that particular race against Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy. It appeared that Krishnamurthy, based on polling and fundraising totals, was way ahead early on and held the lead for months. But in the last few weeks, it was apparent that the lieutenant governor, Ms. Stratton, had the momentum and was making a chance to peak at the exact right time, which she, in fact, did, and went ahead and won that primary. And the late polling was correct. The polls that suggested that she would win by about 4 or 5 points were, in fact, accurate. That's what happened. And she is the senator. She will easily win the general election and replace the retiring Senator Dick Durbin. Also in Illinois, we had two former members of the House attempting comebacks, Jesse Jackson Jr. and Melissa Bean. Jesse Jackson Jr. actually served 10 terms in the House, but in 2012 had to resign due to a conviction on bribery and misuse of government and campaign funds. And he was making a comeback attempt, of course, the son of the now late Reverend Jesse Jackson, and he failed. And he loses that primary to Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller, who had a big influx of money coming in from an AIPAC supported group, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. And so she was able to deny a comeback for Jesse Jackson Jr. Melissa Bean, who held the seat in the House for 3 terms from 2005 to 2011, she was defeated in 2010, also was making a comeback attempt in the open 8th district. And it was open because Mr. Krishnamurthy was running for the Senate, and she will return. She was able to win that primary, and Melissa Bean now will easily win the general election in a newly configured and much more democratic 8th congressional district. So she is very, very likely to return to the U.S. House. So Juliana Stratton headed to the Senate, Melissa Bean headed back to the House, Jesse Jackson headed back to retirement. We also had some changes here because of campaign laws and procedures that certain candidates couldn't meet. And we had 2 examples of that in Maine. Congresswoman Shelley Pingree, Democrat from the 1st District, was getting a challenge from a state representative in the Democratic primary. That individual is out because she says she cannot make the requirement of 2,000 ballot petition signatures. So Shelley Pingree no longer will have any opposition for renomination in the 1st District of Maine. The same thing happened in the 2nd District. Former Governor Paul LePage, running for the Republicans, his Republican opponent dropped out for the same reason, could not meet the requirement of petition signatures. And these requirements are in place for just this reason, because they want to make sure you have qualified candidates who can run effective campaigns to be on the ballot. These 2 individuals were not. So Paul LePage, easy run now for the Republican nomination in the 2nd District. And in Iowa, we saw the same situation occur in the open 4th District. And this is even more unusual in an open seat, because now you have someone who's running unopposed in a safe Republican seat, and that is the Siouxland Chamber of Commerce president, Chris McGowan. He will be the next congressman to replace Randy Feenstra. He's unopposed on the Republican ballot because his opponents couldn't meet the signature gathering requirement. And so by a quirk, you see a very safe Republican open seat, which would normally have a lot of candidates vying for the party nomination, will now be unopposed for chamber president Chris McGowan, and he will be coming to Congress in the next cycle.